Good morning, children. Today we are going to learn about the natural vegetation and wildlife of Brazil. We had already studied about natural vegetation and wildlife of India in the previous session. We studied about the various types of vegetation found in India, like the evergreen forests, deciduous forests, thorny shrubs, coastal forests, and the Himalayan forests. Today, we are going to study about the forests found in Brazil. Forests found in Brazil can be broadly divided into tropical forests, tropical evergreen forests, tropical semi-deciduous forests, semi-arid thorny vegetation, savannas, grasslands, and swampy lands. The map here shows you the various forests which is seen in Brazil. Here, along the Amazon River basin, we have the equatorial forests, tropical grasslands or the savannas. We have the swampy lands of the Pantanal, hot deciduous forests along the southeast part of Brazil, thorny shrubs along the northeast, that is the Caatinga, and the temperate grasslands, also known as the Pampas. Let's go into detail. Now, the first forest that we are going to discuss is the tropical forest. Tropical forests, as the name denotes, are found on either side of the tropics, about 28-degree north and south of the equator. They can be broadly divided again into broad-leaved evergreen forests or tropical semi-deciduous forests. Evergreen forests. Now, as the name suggests, evergreen forests never shed their leaves, or in other words, there's no definite time for shedding of the leaves. As these forests get plenty of rainfall throughout the year, we find the leaves are always green. Evergreen forests are usually found in regions which receive more than 2000 mm of rainfall and on either side of the equator up to about 5-degree north and south. As these regions receive plenty of rainfall and also the direct rays of the sun, or we can say the perpendicular rays of the sun, trees grow to great heights. Sometimes they are as tall as 60 feet. And on the top, the leaves form a canopy, such that sunlight can rarely enter the ground. Along the ground, giant lianas or creepers can be seen. In Brazil, evergreen forests stretch along the Amazon River basin and extends up to the western part of Brazil, up to Colombia and Peru. Trees found here are pau-Brazil. It's also known as the Brazilian wood, which is the national tree of Brazil. Rubber, the latex of which is used in the manufacture of various rubber articles like tires, tubes, etc. Mahogany, rosewood, etc., which are used in manufacture of timber, furniture, as well as a variety of orchids. Evergreen rainforests have been rightly called as the lungs of the world. This is because as these trees receive plenty of rainfall, they are dense and hence these liberate large volumes of oxygen into the atmosphere. resulting in the reduction of carbon dioxide. Hence, these evergreen forests have been known as the lungs of the world. The next forest that I'm going to discuss here is tropical semi-deciduous forest. Deciduous, as the name suggests, shed their leaves, in other words, with either the onset of winter or summer to reduce the loss of water due to transpiration. In Brazil, deciduous forests are a mixed type. These forests are usually found in regions where the temperature is about 25 degrees centigrade and an annual rainfall of 1,200 millimeters to 1,600 millimeters. In Brazil, deciduous forests usually occupy the eastern as well as the southern part of Brazil and is also seen in Argentina and Paraguay. Examples of deciduous forests are Brazilian plums, Spanish cedar, prickly ash, canine bark. Next is the semi-arid thorny vegetation. These are usually seen in arid parts of Brazil. Here, the rainfall can be as low as 800 millimeters, and the temperatures can rise as much as 40 to 50 degrees centigrade. And hence, arid thorny vegetation in Brazil is usually seen towards the northeastern part, that is Caatinga. Trees seen here usually show xerophytic adaptations, that is, their stem, leaves, etc. are modified. The stem may be flattened, it may be green in color, and carry on the function of photosynthesis. At the same time, the leaves will be reduced into spines or thorns. The best example of thorny vegetation is cacti, which is adapted to xeric climate. Apart from that, we have also succulents as well as palm trees. Palm trees, of course, is grown for production of palm oil. Apart from that, another tree found in abundance here is Philocarpus jacarandi, which is used for production of medicines. Let's move on to the next vegetation, that is the savanna. Savanna is a transition from a region of low rainfall on one side to a region of high rainfall. Here you find mostly scanty bushes and scrub-like trees, and also we have rain-resistant grass. Savanna in Brazil is located between the high rainfall bearing regions of the Amazon on one side and low rainfall areas of the Atlantic forests, and towards the south we have the Pantanal. Of course, I think you might remember that in Brazil rainfall decreases as we move from the west towards the east. It is also known as Cerrado, that is, it is the largest savanna region in South America. Here, the temperature annually can be between 22 degrees to 27 degrees. This region receives rainfall between 800 to 2000 mm. Many trees, most of them are woody trees, are found here. Apart from that, trees like clove, eucalyptus, etc. have essential oils. Woody trees like myrtle, guava also is seen here. Coffee also grows well in this region. Next, we have the grasslands. In Brazil, temperate grasslands are found. Now, I think in the lower classes, you might have studied about temperate grasslands of the world. You might have heard about the steppes of Russia, the prairies of North America, the veldt of South Africa, and the downs of Australia. In Brazil, these temperate grasslands are known as the Pampas or the Pampa. The Pampas occupies a vast, extensive region that is about 7 lakh square kilometers and is seen to the southeast of Brazil, extending even up to Argentina and Uruguay. The Pampas consists of flat, extensive rolling plains. The soil here is grey or black and it is very, very fertile. Most of the crops grown here are usually sorghum or maize and even soya beans. These are usually cultivated as livestock feed. You should remember that these grasslands are usually converted to ranching where we have uh, animals, grown like cows and sheep are seen here. Or in other words, we find livestock breeding is a very important occupation of the Pampas. The next vegetation that I'm going to discuss is the swampy lands. The swampy lands are also known as the Pantanal. The Pantanal is a natural region which is the largest tropical wetland in the world and it covers 70,000 square miles. It is located in the Brazilian state of Mato Grosso do Sul and extends up to Bolivia and Paraguay. Pantanal has wide biodiversity. As such, you can find a wide variety of plants and animals here. More than 3,500 species of plants can be seen here. The Pantanal during torrential rains gets filled up and the waters spread into the surrounding region, forming a huge flooded landscape. Next, let us come to wildlife. Now, home to 60% of the Amazon forest, Brazil accounts for approximately one-tenth of all the species of the animals in the wild. Brazil is considered to have the greatest biodiversity of wildlife than any other country in the world. If you look at the wide species of plants and animals here, you'll be astonished to see that we have 55,000 species of plants, 3,000 species of freshwater fish, 744 species of mammals, 832 species of birds, and 744 species of reptiles. Now, such a wide biodiversity is just because of the sheer size of Brazil and also because of variations that we see in the ecosystem. From the Amazon rainforest on one hand, to the Atlantic forests on the east, to the Cerrado, to the scrubland of Caatinga, and the largest wetland in the world, that is the Pantanal. When it comes to animals, you have a wide variety. You have the boa constrictor, the anaconda, which can be seen in the pantanals. The rivers are flooded with caimans or crocodiles and even the piranha. You can see the puma and even the leopards. When it comes to birds, again, we have beautiful macaws, the parrots, and the flamingo. Along the southeast side of Brazil, along the Atlantic coast, we have the swordfish. Then we have many other birds and animals like the flamingos. And apart from all these, we can also see a rich variety of insects. This is because of the Amazon rainforests, which get plenty of rainfall, and the hot and humid climate which is experienced here. Now, this is the picture of a macaw that we can see in Brazil. This is the picture of the anaconda. Condors can also be seen flying high in the Amazon basin. This bird doesn't build its nest, but it lays its eggs high up along the caves or the holes along the mountains. And this is our jaguar. Let's now come to the need for conservation of forests. Why do we need to conserve forests? In the previous lesson, when we were doing India, I had discussed about the importance of forests. Now, forests are useful because it gives you timber for firewood, it gives you medicines, it provides employment to people. Forests also give rain, and forests preserve the fertility of the soil, prevents the soil from being washed away. Now, we've studied about so many uses of forests now, but in the recent years, due to increase in population and urbanization, there's been a considerable decrease in forests. Wildlife had been decreasing at a fast rate. The Indian government has set up a number of national parks and sanctuaries for the protection of wildlife. And hence, we saw that there has been an increase in the number of lions and tigers in India. Today, according to the 2019 census, we have 24.4% of the land area under forests. But Brazil, I think, is better than India because Brazil has 58.9% of the land area under forests. And also when it comes to vegetation, species and animals, it is a larger variety. But again, Brazil also is facing a lot of problems. There's been degradation of the environment has been taking place in Brazil because of poaching, smuggling of animals, and slash and burn technique of agriculture. deforestation, pollution, etc. Slash and burn technique particularly is very, very important because it results in depletion of the environment. Now, in slash and burn technique, a particular patch of land is selected, the trees are cut down, it is burnt, and the ash is thrown on the ground, and agriculture is carried out. This process continues for some years till the ground or the soil loses its fertility, and the farmer then moves on to the next patch of land where he again clears it in the same manner. Now, I just like to remind you that in 2019 itself in Brazil, there has been 80,000 fires which have been because of the slash and burn agriculture. Now, again, the land is actually say cleared either for agriculture or for even ranching. Now, we just have to remember that Brazil's rainforests are called as the world's largest carbon sink because 25% of all the carbon dioxide in the world is actually captured by these forests. Again, in India, when you compare Brazil's rainforests with India, we have the RA milk colony. Just as Brazil's rainforests are known as the lungs of the world, here RA milk colony is known as the last lung of Mumbai. In 2019, 2,120 trees were hacked down to pave the way for metro car shed. You have to remember that RA milk colony itself covers about 1,300 hectares of forest land. And we have many species of plants and animals here in RA. And on one hand, forests continue to burn in the Amazon, and on the other, here in RA, with deforestation taking place, it is not something that we can lose because these are not problems of the present, but they have far reaching implications. Now, we have to understand that forests do not grow all of a sudden, for it takes roughly about 20 to 65 years for a full grown forest with its plants and animals to grow. Hence, it is very, very essential that we conserve forests. Now, let us do a small activity here. Let's match the column, and on one side I've given forests and animals, and on the other you have the options here. You are going to give, give the correct answer. Now we have evergreen forests. Now can you tell me the right answer for evergreen forests? Here it is Pau, Brazil. Deciduous forest, yes, it is teak. Coastal forests, of course, very easy. I think you remember. It is Sundari trees. Himalayan forests, it is pine. And thorny and bush type vegetation, we have the answer as Kejadi. Next, here we have the animals, and we have on the other side we have the places where you can find them. Camels, are usually found in the arid lands. Elephants in the hot and humid forests. Peasants we can find in the wetlands. Antelopes in peninsular region and gharials in the rivers and estuaries. So children, I think you've understood the lesson well. Along with this, there is a link wherein some more questions, assignments are given. You are going to finish those assignments and submit it when the school reopens. Thank you, children.